Headline news most affecting Chilliwack this week. The next provincial election is anywhere up to 2 years away, but in Chilliwack, it may just have started. Will 3-point seatbelts become the norm in BC thanks to a local MLA? More homeless camps along the Chilliwack River with garbage and needles being pulled from the banks, and a possible world record for rainbows in Chilliwack. Thanks for watching. We're committed to providing local news and news that impacts our local audience from Harrison to Garrison, Greendale to Hope, and everywhere in between, including Fairfield Island, Little Mountain, Promontory, the Eastern Hillsides, Chilliwack Mountain, Yarrow, and Cultus Lake. In addition to news, sports, and weather, this week we have scheduled interviews with Diane Janzen, the Executive Director for Chilliwack Community Services, and Terrace Groves of the Chilliwack Independent Film Festival. And Terrace will also be our guest anchor this week. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. Former Chilliwack City Councillor Diane Janzen announced on Monday that she will run for the BC Liberal Party nomination in the Chilliwack riding. She stated, "I've had the opportunity to serve our great community as a city councillor, school trustee, and chair of the school board, and after encouragement from community and my family, now's the time to put my hard work and commitment towards the issues that are facing Chilliwack residents and the province. This includes a strong economy, affordability in areas like auto insurance, healthcare, education, and social issues like homelessness." The next provincial election could happen at any time given a minority NDP government. Which begs the question, what was the reaction of Chilliwack MLA John Martin? chillTV has reached out for comment, and we're still waiting. Janzen will have an exclusive TV interview with Barry Penner later in this newscast.
Private members' bills are notorious for falling on deaf ears. Chilliwack Kent MLA Laurie Throness has already had some success in the latest session of the BC Legislature in Victoria. In October, Throness received support for all sides of the House for a bill which would toughen up the Trespass Act, and in particular for farmers and their personal safety. Now, with the help from an Agassiz school bus driver, Gary Lillico, Throness wants the House to pass a bill that would see school buses have 3-point seatbelts for new vehicles after 2021. BC Transportation Minister Claire Trevena is waiting on a National Forum report before she comments on what may or may not happen with this petition.
Now, the cleanup along the Chilliwack River has raised eyebrows over how to deal with homeless camps and the residue left behind. The latest to catch the attention of social media was near Sweltzer Creek, where provincial crews and FERD officials arrived. That's when they found the usual garbage and drug paraphernalia, as well as batteries, bike parts, and clothing. Chris Gadsden with the Vedder River Cleanup Society says these camps are getting bigger and more sophisticated. He's hopeful that the resources are there to continue to clean up these camps.
In a story that Global First broadcast over the weekend, the Agriculture Ministry said they were looking into hiring an American surveillance company, MDA Systems Limited, to provide military-grade radar satellite detection services on agricultural land, starting this month and running until February 2020 for 3 overlapping areas in southern BC. This would be to ensure that ALR rules are being followed on AOC-controlled farmland. There were immediate hours of protest on social media over privacy concerns. The Agricultural Ministry noted that this is still a proposal and drones have not been used to fly over farms to see if they are compliant. However, there was no mention if any fixed-wing aircraft have been used.
Many students from the Fraser Valley piled into buses and headed into Vancouver this past Tuesday to join other young people at Rogers Arena for an unparalleled event, bringing together world-renowned speakers and performers, and of course tens of thousands of youth celebrating a year of action that transformed communities and changed lives. It was the annual We Day Vancouver, and the speaker list, well, included Man in Motion Rick Hansen, Serena Ryder, NBA Hall of Famer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Toronto Raptor superfan Nav Bhatia, and the perennial favorite Spencer West.
A new variable speed limit system started operation, allowing the province to lower speeds on a section of Highway 3 east of Hope and helping travellers drive safely during bad weather. You may have noticed the construction of similar signs on Highway 1 between Chilliwack and Abbotsford. Those signs are expected to go online sometime in early 2020. And when we return, Chilliwack in the Guinness Book of World Records for rainbows. "11 rainbow crosswalks have been painted in Chilliwack this year, with another 5 planned. The 16 in total have led supporters to petition the Guinness World Book of Records for a new category, the city with the most rainbow crosswalks. The Facebook page Chilliwack Citizens for Change acknowledged the petition, but organisers don't know who started the online push. The crosswalk sprang up on school and private property after the city refused to allow a rainbow on Mill Street.
Abbotsford Centre was abuzz this fall, hosting 31 events in a 50-day span. That was September 14th to November the 3rd. The Fraser Valley Taco Festival kicked things off, followed by Rock the Rink, Touch a Truck, Casting Crowns, Cheech and Chong, Fraser Valley Thunderbird Showcase, the Shinedown, the Papa Roach concert, PBR, a UFV volleyball fundraiser, Rascal Flats, and more. The Spectra managed venue saw over 48,000 patrons in total attendance, checking out events during this time, with 4 sellouts. The Vancouver Canucks and the Ottawa Senators had a preseason game. There was Dallas Smith with Dean Brody, the Wiggles, and King Country. Note that the Canucks game was the only hockey event. The Centre has been without a pure hockey tenant since the AHL Abbotsford Heat left in 2014. And this has been one of the busiest on record for the Abbotsford Centre. Rick Como, the general manager for Abbotsford Centre, was very pleased to host so many successful, diverse events during this period. And needless to say, looking forward to carrying on that success into 2020.
Salvation Army Christmas hamper applications are now being taken by the Salvation Army. You must apply in person at the old Progress Building on Spadina, across from the downtown Save-On-Foods.
And the 4th annual Chilliwack Independent Film Festival, or CIFF, is this weekend. Get your tickets at cif.ca and watch all the amazing contributions this year. And for a little more information on the weekend, watch for my guest anchor's interview with Berris Karden. That's a little later on in the show. And now, Barry Penter and his interview with Diane Janzen.
Welcome to chillTV News of the Week and Penner's Politburo. I'm pleased to be joined here today by Diane Janzen, who will be a familiar face to many people in our community. It's nice to see you again, Diane.
Great to be here.
You are the Executive Director of Chilliwack Community Services. I believe you've been doing that for about 3 years now?
Yes.
A little bit more than that? But this week, you've made an announcement that you are seeking to shake things up in politics here and are interested in a new job. Can you tell us a little bit about what you have in mind?
Absolutely. So on Monday, I announced my intention to run for the nomination of the BC Liberals in the Chilliwack riding. I was approached about 5 months ago by a group of citizens who asked me if I would consider doing that. So I took quite a bit of time talking to people and thinking about that, and I made the decision to throw my hat in the ring.
All right. So as you know, there is currently a sitting member of the Legislative Assembly, or MLA for short, in the constituency you're interested in. It's represented currently by Mr. John Martin, who's also a member of the BC Liberal Party, first elected in 2013 and then re-elected in the last provincial election in 2017. What do you think you can offer to provincial voters in that riding that haven't been receiving from Mr. Martin?
Well, when I spoke with the individuals that I talked about, there are a number of things that I'm really quite concerned about. The first is healthcare. So we have 25,000 people here in Chilliwack without a doctor. And it has devastating consequences. I was speaking with someone the other day who actually wasn't able to get care here in Chilliwack. I had moved from Vancouver and ended up having a heart attack because he couldn't get into his doctor. And so this has persisted when you think that a quarter of our population doesn't have access to good health care. We have maternity closures, which I think is absolutely unheard of. We have one of the highest birth rates in the province, and you know, we're experiencing closures. It doesn't make any sense at all. Affordability, that's another thing I want to work on. I think that right now the issue of housing is hugely important, not just in the homelessness front, but if, for example, you have a job where you're making $17, $18 an hour, you cannot afford the rent. Infrastructure. So we have gridlock between here and Vancouver. And I think our #1 highway needs to be treated like a #1 priority. So those are a few things I want to work on, and in responding as well to a lot of people that I've spoken to.
So I'm curious, have you spoken to John Martin about your decision? And if so, how does he feel about your challenge?
I did speak with him, went for coffee with him about a month ago. And so I did inform him of what my intentions were, and then on the day that I decided to actually put my name forward, I sent him an email to tell him I was doing that. So I think it was a bit of a surprise. As far as his reaction, well, I think you'd have to talk to him about that.
We will try to do so in the next week or two. What has been the reaction of the BC Liberal Party so far? Challenges to sitting MLAs or MPs from someone within their party is really quite rare in Canadian and British Columbia politics. Of course, it has happened at least once before here in the Chilliwack riding, a long time ago, it seems. But it's seldom that a party's incumbent loses the nomination to run under their banner in the next election, unless, of course, the incumbent voluntarily decides not to seek re-election and retires from politics. Have you been told if the BC Liberal Party will permit their incumbent MLAs to be challenged in an open nomination?
So where the BC Liberals are sitting right now is that they're at the beginning of their nomination process. So they have issued an email that says they have open nominations for 11 of those ridings. So, and that includes Abbotsford South, for example. I've had this question asked a number of times. I would take everybody back to 1995 when the current sitting MLA was challenged by a number of people. And that individual, there was an individual that was successful, and his name was Barry Penner.
I've met him.
And, yes, and he went on to represent us ably for 16 years. So what I would say is, and one of the reasons I was attracted to the BC Liberals is that they're a Democratic Party. And they allow members to make the decision about who they want to see as their candidate. I also jokingly say this is not the Canadian Senate. So my interest is in raising memberships and in being a compelling force within our community to advance us forward.
Right. Does this, though, create a problem for Andrew Wilkinson, the leader of the BC Liberal Party? On the one hand, if he allows open nominations and challenges to his incumbent MLAs, he might be criticized for not defending his MLAs and not showing loyalty to them, while at the same time he's demanding loyalty from them to maintain his position as leader. And certainly I can imagine the media would speculate on that. And on the other hand, if he doesn't allow an open nomination process, as you've pointed out, he could be accused of not permitting a democratic process to unfold in the party. Any idea what Mr. Wilkinson's thoughts are on this matter?
Well, what I would say is that one of the things I've been very impressed with about the party was about a year and a half ago, there was a call for party renewal. And there was in the call, it was interesting. It didn't say, for any unheld ridings, we are interested in people who are interested in running. They said, we want to call forward all names of individuals who are interested in representing their communities. So I took my call from that position by the BC Liberals, and I would hope that they would continue to look for the best qualified candidates across British Columbia. We have some huge issues here, and affordability, concerns over fiscal responsibility with the NDP, auto insurance rates the highest in North America, gas prices the highest in North America, and I think one of the things I'd like to do is defend the 2.6 million British Columbians that get up every day and go to work. Because they're the ones getting hammered with 19 taxes, and they're the ones not getting ahead.
The next provincial election could be as much as 2 years away. Of course, in a minority situation as we have at the legislature currently, it could be sooner. But according to the fixed calendar, it's now 2 years out. October 2021 is the next scheduled election. When do you think the nomination meeting will be held here in the Chilliwack riding?
Well, I would imagine, although I haven't been told this directly, generally political parties like to see their nominees in place within about a year of an election call. I think a lot of people are saying it's very unlikely there'll be an early election. The Greens don't have a leader. Things are tight in the polls. So, but I think it's pretty indicative when they go and start issuing, now we're going to look at nominations in these ridings. So I would imagine between now and October 2020 sometime, I would imagine that would get done, but we'll have to wait to see what the party does.
All right, well, the last question, assuming the party does allow an open nomination process to take place here, how do you go about selling memberships in this era? In the old days, when I was involved getting started, we had to find membership books.
Right.
And that could be tightly controlled by the party. It was one way the party could keep a grip on things. How are you signing up people now in the year 2019?
So I think in some ways it's not different from the way it was, which is you need to contact people that you know. So I'm on the phones contacting people. There is, and just to put in a shameless plug for myself, just go on to the BC Liberal website, type in BC Liberal membership and sign up. So I'm, one of the things that
$10 gives you a 4-year membership?
Absolutely.
Unless you're a youth, and I believe youth is 14 to 25
That's right.
years of age and is $5.
Yes, absolutely. So it's not a difficult process at all. Also, I think there is an opportunity to actually get forms if you're not comfortable doing it online. So I can certainly facilitate that, but I'd say give me a call, text me, 604-819-6627. I'll get you a form, I'll get you hooked up.
Operators are standing by.
Yeah, absolutely.
I should point out to our viewers, in case they're wondering, we do have, of course, another MLA representing a different portion of the Chilliwack-Kent riding. That's called the Chilliwack-Kent riding, and that's Lori Thronis. But the constituency that you're interested in is the one that's just called Chilliwack.
That's right.
And does not involve Mr. Thronis.
No.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Diane, for speaking with me and answering our questions, and for joining chillTV's viewers. Please keep us posted on any developments, and watch this space as we hope to speak with MLA John Martin about this and other topics in the near future. I'm Barry Penner, and this has been Penner's Politburo on chillTV News of the Week.
Saskatoon Hilltops remain on top of the CJFL after a thrilling 11-6 win over the Langley Rams last Saturday in the 112th edition of the Canadian Bowl. The game was dominated by defense. Matter of fact, the Rams didn't allow a Hilltops touchdown and held them to only 3 points in the entire second half. The Hilltops gained 230 total yards, the Rams 209. The Hilltops' dominance continues, winning their 6th straight title and have won 12 national championships under their head coach, Tom Sargent. Now, this is the lowest scoring Canadian Bowl in 40 years. In '79, the Ottawa Sooners beat the Regina Rams 13-9. The 113th Canadian Bowl will be hosted in Ontario November 14th of 2020, and they're already planning for the new CJFL season. The Premier Equine Education Conference will once again be bringing you top internationally recognized professionals presenting the latest findings in equine health, welfare, and training. The 2020 Horse Council BC Conference is April 24th to the 26th. That'll be at the Quality Inn in Abbotsford. Tickets for this event are now available online. Chilliwack Chiefs are in the process of a rebuild of all their summer programming and camps. Now, the organization has decided to create more age and skill-specific hockey programming to address an increased demand for hockey development in the Chilliwack area and right across the Lower Mainland. The Chiefs will be offering age-specific hockey training solely focused on helping local athletes taking their game to the next level. Now, the organization is currently working to secure elite-level career coaches to take part in the venture. It'll also be running a number of programs in conjunction with Club XO Fitness, which is also based out of the Chilliwack Coliseum. That used to be Prospera Center. The Chiefs will continue to offer their annual 3-week June hockey program, as well as their 6-week high performance program, and will add age and skill-appropriate programs focusing on power skating and mechanics, puck control and shooting, positioning, and among other things. Now, calling all G.W. Graham Grizzly alumni basketball players, the alumni basketball game is set for December the 20th. The boys and girls will be followed by the social for the alumni. That'll be at Major League Pubs. And you can RSVP through the Grizzlies' Facebook page.
Well, everyone, it is my great pleasure to welcome Terrace Groves to our show today. And Terrace, you're what to the Chilliwack Independent Film Festival?
Festival director.
You're festival director.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being on the show. And a very exciting time because something big's happening this weekend. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's the 3-day event for the Chilliwack Independent Film Festival. So it's November 22nd to the 24th at the Cottonwood on the Saturday and Sunday, and Co-work Chilliwack for the opening mixer. So
oh, great. And that's on the Friday?
Yes, that's on the Friday, yeah.
Good stuff. And so if I'm online, I'm jumping to tickets already. If I'm online what's the website address?
It's CIFF.ca, so super easy.
CIFF.ca.
Yeah.
So can I get tickets to the mixer then too?
Yep, you can. They're free. That's free to all.
Oh, great.
And then usually it's about $6 a block, and you can get a festival pass for $30, which gets you into all the films. So that's 39 films and 8 screening blocks. So
I'm detecting a bit of an accent there. You're from Abbotsford? Is that an Abbotsford accent?
Yeah. Langley.
Langley, okay.
No,
So,
London, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the history of the Chilliwack Independent Film Festival. It's 3 years old.
Yep.
You started it.
Yep.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend moved over from London. My background is I'm a filmmaker from London, and I just I have family here, so I fell in love with the place. I love the Fraser Valley, love Chilliwack especially.
What's not to love?
Yeah, exactly,
It's wonderful.
beautiful, yeah. And of course, BC is one of the largest film industries in North America. I think the third largest after LA and New York.
Wow.
But yet in the Fraser Valley, there's no festivals, and kind of a selfish way that I wanted to bring filmmakers to the Fraser Valley. You know,
There was a vacuum, and you found it, and you said,
say
"Hey,
that.
we're going to occupy that." No, I think that's wonderful. And I believe I read somewhere that after only 3 years, you're pretty successful. You're in the top 100 in the world. Is that right?
yeah, top 100 best reviewed festivals in the world. Film Freeway is kind of the industry standard for that. It's like the Facebook for film festivals. So we just broke into it after the last edition, where filmmakers leave reviews. So it's been quite a kick. Yeah.
Well, wonderful.
I think we climbed to 50 something, and then we're kind of going back down again because we haven't had the third edition yet. So hopefully we can get into that top 50 next year.
It's this type of thing. There's such a creative community in Chilliwack, and what you're doing is certainly helping Chilliwack in terms of putting it on the map internationally, and it's fantastic. So a lot of people go. Is it growing every year? Tell us a little bit about.
It's grown every year. First year was 2 years. 2 days was the festival, and then I think we had about 25 films, and this is our third year now, and we have 3 days with 39 films, and just more and more films, kind of better films keep submitting every year. First year we had about 100 submissions. This year we had about 350, so it's kind of tripled in 3 years. So it's definitely grown and getting harder to say no to so many great films. But
yeah, you have a lot of submissions every year. And are there other independent film festivals that are close by? What's comparable in BC?
There's kind of like the Whistler Film Festival. There's Vancouver as well. They're probably the big two in BC. So we're kind of trying to battle up. They've been going a bit longer than us, but
yeah, 3 years. That's amazing. Yeah. So this weekend, there's lots of films. How many films are 39 films. 39 films.
24 of those are from BC, and then we have like some documentaries. We have 3 feature films. Kind of lots of short films, so you kind of a little bit of everything really. The good thing about the short film blocks too is if you go to a short film block and you don't like a short film, it's going to be over in a few minutes and another one will be coming up.
Yeah, well that's great.
Yeah.
Well, and the price is very affordable to be able to do a pass for $30 for the whole weekend. Or?
Yeah. I mean, we're not about making money as a non-profit. We just want to like kind of get people out to support independent filmmakers. And
you know, as a filmmaker yourself, you should consider creating your own film and putting it in a festival. You ever thought about doing something like that? I think that's a good idea.
A pre-thought out question now, because I do have a film in the
You
festival.
do?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
That's one of the
tell us a little
perks,
bit about your film.
It's called Flight of the Dodo. It's playing on Saturday at 5:30. So if you're going to miss a block, that's the block to miss.
Don't. I think we're on to. Well, you picked a good time though. That's not bad. That's a good time for it.
Yeah, I couldn't have it close the festival, of course. But, you know. But yeah, so it's
a little too self-indulgent to do that. Yeah.
So
no, I wish you all the best of success. And I have not been to a festival. I wanted to go last year, and then I wasn't able to. But I want to go this year, so
great, yeah.
I'm going to get some free tickets.
Yeah, I guess.
No,
so.
I'm not going to buy tickets. I got to buy tickets.
I'll give you some.
It's so affordable. I just in terms of, I know that you've watched all the movies, right?
Yeah.
Can you recommend any of the films for people that can't spend the entire weekend?
It really depends on what you like, kind of thing. So if you love documentaries, we have a documentary blog with some beautiful documentaries. There's a film, for example, called My Paintbrush Bites, which is about a horse that paints. There's a Humboldt documentary, so there's a bit of everything, which is very tragic and very beautiful. And the directors are going to be there to do a Q&A afterwards, because that's a kind of a big draw as well.
Cool,
so
yes.
we don't want people just to come and watch the films and then just go home.
So it's interactive. That's
exactly,
really cool.
So
yeah.
It's nice to hear their story and their process. So it'd be kind of interesting to hear how they dealt with filming that documentary. You know. Do you like short films, feature films?
I like short films.
Yeah,
I've got a short attention span, so
that's great.
I'm barely listening to finish a sentence. No. I think the fact that you've got this breadth, I think that's fantastic, and it's a little bit something for everybody. Yeah. Well, we encourage everyone to go out to Cottonwood 4 Cinemas this weekend, but before that, make sure you go to ciff.ca and buy tickets to either individual films for $6?
Yep, yeah, always like the block, yeah. So a short film block will have like, could be 7 or 8 short films in there.
Oh, such
Pretty
value.
good, yeah.
Yeah. Terrace, thank you so much for being on the
No
show,
worries, thank you for having
and want to wish you all the best of success this year and in future years.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
chillTV weather, we're back to sunshine and the risk of showers for the next few days and the highs near 9. We'd like to thank our guest this week, Diane Janzen, the Executive Director of Chilliwack Community Services, and of course, Terrace Groves of the Chilliwack Independent Film Festival. And Terrace, obviously, break a leg this weekend. You're going to be busy. A lot of people don't know this is a world-class event, and I guess tips for someone who may not be able to get to everything. So all the films are listed up on the website?
Yeah, on the website, yes. If you don't know what you want to see, just close your eyes and pick one. It'll be good, hopefully.
Now, again, this is world-class. You were in a major list, something that you had mentioned in the interview with Berris. What was the name of that list?
Film Freeway, the top 100, yeah.
Yeah, top 100. So there you go. If you would like to share the spotlight, even if you've never been on camera before, send us a note to news@chilltv.ca with your CV, and if you have it, links to your video or a film. And if there's something in Chilliwack in the Eastern Fraser Valley you feel we should be reporting on again, send us an email to the same address, news@chilltv.ca. That's the news this week. I'm Don Lehn.